Hey guitar friends, welcome to All About Guitar Academy. Today we're going to be talking about this little guy here. What is it? It's a capo. And if you've never used one, or if you have used one but it confuses you, you've come to the right place, because today we're going to unlock some of the secrets of the capo, and that's coming right up. So grab your guitar, make sure you're in standard tuning, and let's jump in. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're here, because we're going to talk about something that was very confusing for me as a beginner guitarist, and I've run into this a lot with my students and other guitar players. When you're first starting out, there's not a whole lot out there about capos. Now, there is a lot on YouTube. You can find unlimited resources on YouTube nowadays, which is fantastic. But back in the day, we didn't have that. So I learned from somebody a long time ago some secrets about how to use this capo, how to know what key you're in, or how to get into a certain key on your guitar when you're playing guitar and you don't want to have to play E flat or B flat or a song in F. You'd rather play it, for example, in a very easy guitar song like in the key of G with that kind of chord shape. Well, here's the great news about a capo. You can play songs in chord shapes like G, C add 9 or C major, D, and E minor. I mean, the list goes on, and you can play those chords anywhere on the neck of the guitar if you know how to do bar chords, or if you have a capo. Now, this particular capo is a spring-loaded capo. These are very easy to find. I'm going to put a link in the description to Sweetwater, where I get all my musical supplies from. In case you want to get one of these, make sure you check the description. But this one is probably the most popular capo, I would say, and easiest to use. Now, you don't want to use this on every single type of guitar. It works really good on an acoustic guitar. I don't recommend it like on a Gibson Les Paul electric guitar. There are capos you can use for electric guitar, but I don't personally recommend this one for that, because it has to fit the neck of the guitar just right. This one works for almost any acoustic guitar. So let's get started on how to use this guy. So here's a little quick story, and this may have happened to you. I used to play in a band, and when I would go to band practice and we'd be rehearsing, I would usually already have the songs practiced beforehand. For example, it might be in G major, so I'm using a G major, a C, a D, an E minor, because they all go together, for example. I practiced the night before, I'm ready to play. I get there and find out the singer cannot sing in that key. They need to sing in B flat, for example. So now I'm stuck with, okay, B flat. I don't really want to do that because it's difficult to play on the guitar. So that's when I learned how to play with a capo. Before we go down this path, it's really important to know the notes on the fretboard. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to cover every single note today on the fretboard, but I am going to look at string number 6, which is our low E string. So let's learn these notes, because it's important to know where they are if we're going to use a capo for this little hack that I'm going to give you today. So we've got the open E, then we're going to go to F, F sharp, and you'll notice we're going up what we call a half step. A whole step would be, for example, F to G. That's a whole step here. So a half step is just a half step up, which would be 1 fret instead of 2 frets. So we've got E, F, F sharp, G, then G sharp, A sharp, B, and now here's where it changes. Whenever you go from B to a C, it's a half step. So we're not going to be doing, for example, F, G, A, B, C. That's not it. It's right here. C is a half step up from B. So you want to write that down or remember it. B to C is a half step. Same thing on E to F. When we went from the open E and we went to the F here, we're going a half step. A whole step would have been right here at F sharp if we were going to do a whole step. So try to remember that B to C is a half step, and then E to F is also a half step. So let's start that again. We've got E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Now we're going to C. Then we've got C sharp, D, D sharp, and then E up here on the 12th fret. So another good thing to remember is you've got open E here, and you've got E way up here on fret number 12. Okay, the reason we want to know where these notes are is because it's going to help us with where we put our capo. So for example, I'll use a real life example. I've learned a song. It's in G, then C, then D, and the chorus has an E minor in it. Okay, so I've learned that song and got it down pat. So come to find out, my singer is unable to sing the song in G major. They want to sing it in B flat. Oh my goodness, what do I do now? Okay, well, let's find B flat on our fretboard. We've got E, F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B. Okay, so here's our B right here. Well, B flat we know is going to be a half step down because we've got A sharp, which is the same as B flat. So we've got B, we go down a half step, that's B flat. Okay, so once we find B flat, here's a little secret. All we've got to do is put our capo 3 steps backwards. So if I go 1, 2, 3, that's the 3rd fret. I want to put my capo there. Now this is if I want to play the song using G major chord shapes, okay? So I've got my capo here. Now you'll notice on the 3rd fret here where I put the capo, because we counted back 3 steps from B flat, what I want to do with the capo is make sure it's covering all 6 strings and that it's close to the fret here. Now, a lot of times it won't be perfectly straight, like I don't have it perfectly straight right now, as you can see. But you want to have it covering all the strings. It's good to go ahead and play each string. Make sure they all ring out. So I'm going to play my G major chord shape. Okay, guess what? That is the same as a B flat. I'll show you the same sound. We've got G, which is actually a B flat because I'm capoed here on the 3rd fret. If I play a B flat bar chord, see how that sounds the same? Okay, but it's much easier to play my G major chord shape. So now, since I'm on the 3rd fret, I can play the chord shapes that I learned the song. G major, C major, D, E minor, just for example. Okay, so that makes my singer happy, makes me happy. I don't have to play the song using B flat chord shapes. I can use my G major chord shape. So let's try another example. A lot of times you'll have other guitar players in the band playing with you, and you want to offset their sound, for example. So if you've got a lead guitar player and they're playing B flat, for example, down here, you know, they've got something going on like all right, they're playing like that. You want to offset that B flat and make it sound a little bit different on the acoustic guitar. So you're going to put your capo up here on the 3rd fret, for example, just because you don't want it to sound the same as what the other guitar player's doing. So same chord, same key, but you're using a different chord shape. You're using a G major chord shape, which is most beginner guitar players find that easy to use. Now let's say that your singer wants to sing the song in the key of A. Okay, so no problem, I can play A, open chords. but I want to offset, I want to sound a little bit different than the rest of the band. So let's use our capo, and what we're going to do is count up to the A note again. So we've got E, F, G, A. Okay, now I want to go back 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, because I want to play this using my G-shaped chord pattern. So if I put the capo here on fret number 2, I know that I can play A like this. With a G major chord shape. See how it sounds the same? Put it back on here. Fret number 2, use the capo. Same key. All right, isn't that cool? So whatever key that you need to play in, find the note on your fretboard with string number 6, for example. If you want to play that G major chord shape, for example, find that note and then count back 3 steps. So I hope you got a lot out of this lesson today. There's a lot more you can do with the capo, but I wanted to make this very beginner friendly. I hope this helps you. Always remember, take 3 steps back from the note on the fretboard. That's where you want to put your capo. Always remember that E to F is a half step and B to C is a half step. And that way you can find the notes on the fretboard. All right, I hope to see you in the next lesson. Stay tuned for more.